Hello everybody, it's another Nikolas Cruz video. I'm going to talk about his background and what my research has shown. Okay, for starters, he was born to his biological mother was a drug addict, and she gave him up while I read somewhere that she gave him up while she was in jail or prison or something. And they adopted him and named him Nikolas Cruz. And I think his adoptive mother was in the room with her, and she also adopted his brother as well who came out roughly 2 years later. And what happened is the father, he never knew his biological father, but he knew his adoptive father for about 6 years, and he died when Nikolas Cruz was 6, and he was pretty traumatized by that. He watched his father die. So already he's not even 10, and he's already seen somebody die. I'm pretty sure somebody close to him. So he knows he already had that experience with death. I mean, not just having losing somebody, but actually watching them die. And it's a whole different ballgame when you see somebody die. Trust me, I've seen somebody die. And my father, to be exact, and I was 24. It was not a pleasant experience. Imagine what it would be for, a 6-year-old. Anyway, moving forward, what's interesting is that his younger brother actually and his friends would often bully Nikolas Cruz together. And then his younger brother said that he wished he had been a little nicer to Nikolas Cruz, not surprisingly. And what happened is, as time went on, his behavior got worse and worse. He was diagnosed with ADHD, depression, anger issues, autism, and obsessive-compulsive disorder, a whole alphabet soup of stuff. Anyhow, what happened is, as time went on, he became obsessed with war, violence, and killing. He had, he would often kill animals and sometimes he would dissect them. He would shoot them with his BB gun. And his classmates noticed more and more odd behavior. Like one time he held a dead bird up to his groin in the middle of class, according to one student. She didn't tell the teacher. She only told her best friend, who decided it was none of their business. And anyway, he got into a few fights, which at majority Stoneman Douglas High School, and was expelled from Stoneman Douglas High. That school is going to be torn down, by the way, supposedly, probably to erase the memory and collective PTSD. They're already trying their damnedest to erase any memory of Nikolas Cruz. His name was on a fence for a playground that was built, and it's been etched out, or is set to be etched out at this point. And that being said, Nikolas actually lived in 2 homes after his mother died. The first one, he just wasn't a very good guest. He, would break stuff. He got into a fight and he was soon kicked out. However, he found a family friend. Well, not a family friend, one of his friends, and his parents just said, "Oh, all right, you can stay." And he was much better behaved there. And he posted on a YouTube video that he wanted to be a quote-unquote professional shooter. And anyway, it is known that somewhere I read that he admired Charles Whitman, the shooter at the University of Austin, the tower in the 60s. And anyway, the problem is that it's like, he was very well behaved at their house, at the second house he lived in, at his friend's house, and he kept all his guns locked up. The first family he lived with, they wouldn't let him keep his guns, but the second one did. And, he kept them locked up and everything like that. And, anyway, as you probably know, he eventually took an Uber to school, and he had a guitar case in the car. The Uber driver asked not to be identified. And then he took out the AR, pulled the fire alarm, and shot a bunch of people. Now, okay, he complained that according to one person who knew him, he said he wanted a girlfriend very, very badly. And incidentally, interestingly, he seemed much happier like a week or two before the shooting. He said he never felt better in his life. And he seemed to be doing better. He also was working at a Dollar Tree for some time, and the Dollar Tree's records confirmed that he was indeed an employee there. But it's also, he started off a political shitstorm. All these kids, leaving school and all that crap and protesting. He started a movement. How long it will last remains to be seen. But, there's a lot of, crazy shit that, could, happen and could materialize in the future. And the day of the shooting, he told his friend said, time to go to school, all that crap. And he's like, he said to his friend that he didn't go to school on Valentine's Day. And that, he quietly left, took an Uber to, Majorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and killed 17 people. And what's really interesting is that I'm sure a lot more details are going to come out during the trial and all that stuff. And there might be a civil suit, because remember, I haven't told you this already, but if you don't know, he was set to get a $800,000 inheritance from his mother, his adopted mother. His biological mother didn't have shit because she was a drug addict, unless she got clean or something, which I highly doubt. There's still not a lot of details about his biological family. We don't know who the biological father of him is, but we do know that his biological brother is his biological half-brother. She had had him by another man, and no one yet knows too much about his father, Nikolas Cruz's father, but it can be assumed that he was not a big part in his life. But anyway, there's going to be, some civil suits, some lawsuits, a whole bunch of stuff. And Nikolas Cruz may or may not get the death penalty. He sure killed a lot of people in Florida, is not shy about executing people. But given his mental state, it's like we do know, I do know that he wanted to be in the military, which his mental diagnosis is most likely wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. In fact, it's almost guaranteed it wouldn't happen unless it pretty much take an act of God for that to happen. But anyway, I am still researching this. There will probably be another video about him in the future. I've already made, as I said before, I've already made 2 so far. So keep an eye out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you can, leave a donation. It's for, well, actually, there are no more donations anymore. I stopped doing that a little while ago, but the fundraiser went out, which you can watch my video, Sad News, guys. Maybe we'll explain everything. Alright. Have a good day, y'all.